Everybody, welcome to my Season 1 review video. I know that lots of other reactors can have long review videos. I've seen some that were like an hour long, but that's not going to be me because, as my name suggests, I'm an introvert, so I'm not that comfortable talking to the camera. I know I do when I'm doing my reactions, but it's different when I'm watching something. I'm more comfortable because I have something to focus on, and you guys have something to see in correlation to what I'm talking about. But it's just me talking to the camera, so I'm probably not going to make this that long. I'm just going to get to the point, what I thought. And yeah, I have a general little outline here I have a list, so I'm going to be going over my general thoughts on the season. Then I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on each individual episode. I was going to talk about the characters, like the main characters, but some people had questions about that for the viewer question section, so I'll leave that till then. Then I have my top 5 episodes of the season. Then I have my season 2 predictions, and then I have all the viewer questions, and then I'll have some ending notes. So yeah, when I was first recommended the show, I didn't know much about it other than it being about vampires and a vampire slayer, and the character was named Buffy. I had heard things of it over the years, obviously, but nothing like, I don't know, that's all I really knew about it. So when I went into it, all my friend told me was, the season has been said to be kind of weak, not to give up. People usually give up during it, but if you hold on, it gets better. But even though I was told that, I wanted to go into it with a very clear mind, no judgment. I like just judging it as I watch it, and I'm glad I did because I loved it, as you can tell. It was a strong season to me. I loved all the episodes, yeah, some more than the others, but I didn't hate any of them. Each had good moments and good plots, and I loved a lot of the concepts, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see what else happens. Honestly, I'd love to rewatch it now, but I have 6 other seasons to watch and the spin-off to watch, and oh, yes, I will be watching the spin-off. People are asking if I'm going to. I know it starts after season 3 of Buffy, so I'll be watching it together. I do not know what the spin-off is about, what it's called yet, because my friend said it'll kind of spoil plotline in Buffy, so I don't want to know the name. I just know when Buffy season 4 starts, I'll be doing the season 1 of the spin-off. And but yeah, back to Buffy. I loved the first season, and yeah, we'll go into what I thought about each individual episode. I talk about episode 1, Welcome to the Hellmouth, but I'm going to also add in the Harvest, since it's pretty much a 2-parter. I'll just keep those as one. For a pilot to a show, I thought it was very good at introducing. I was surprised because I thought that we would see Buffy become the Slayer and her learning everything, and I guess that would have probably took the whole season for her to, learn what it was all about. So maybe it was better that she was already the Slayer so we could get right into everything. So that was a good aspect of it. As for the introduction of the Master, I thought it was very well done, and just how quickly, she was brand new to school, and how quickly she integrated with Willow and Xander. And I think the most surprising thing for the opening 2-parter was Jesse. Like, I thought they were showing him as one of the main characters, like, of the friend group, and when he was caught, I was afraid he was going to get killed, but then I'm like, no, they wouldn't do that. Not right at the beginning of the season. I could see maybe at the end of the season, but they catch him. You think, oh, they saved him? Xander and Buffy, oh, they saved him? And then he's a vampire. And then I thought, okay, maybe, since I didn't know really the lore of the show yet, I thought maybe he could become a good vampire and they could save him, but obviously that didn't happen. As for Luke and the vessel and stuff like that, I thought it was done very quickly. Like, he died so fast, I thought, like, he would be one of the side villains, but other than that, I thought it was a very strong pilot, and it hooked me, and obviously I'm here now, so yeah. Next we have Witch. I love this. I've always loved witches and spells and stuff like that. So when I heard this is what the name of the episode, I was very excited. And that twist, like, the spell stuff was creepy, like, who is it? Wondering, I thought maybe it was Cordelia, and then I thought, okay, it's Amy. And then when it was her mom and they switched bodies, you saw, like, I had thought something was up, and for, like, right before it, I figured the twist out, and I was blown away, and it had just been the third episode of the season, and it had switched to no vampires. I thought when I came into it, I didn't think it was only going to be vampires, but it was still a good, nice little change to show what the show can do with other supernatural things. So another great. Then we have Teacher's Pet. I don't like bugs. I said that before, so it was a little cringy for me in that sense, but I still think it was a quirky episode. It had some funny moments, and seeing a little more of, I guess this was like Xander's first centric episode, and the villain was creepy, and they left with that cliffhanger with the eggs in the closet. I guess they're not going to go back on that, but that was a shocker. But rest in peace, Dr. Gregory. He was the first teacher to be nice to Buffy, so I feel bad we lost him. But then we had Never Kill a Boy on the First Date. This episode made me feel really bad for Buffy. That's the main thing I can think back on it, because I know she really liked Owen. He was normal. She just wanted to be a normal girl with all the Slayer things she has to do, and she had to keep leaving. Poor guy was so confused, and then she thinks, oh, he's not going to want anything to do with me anymore, and then all he wants to do is, oh, can we go do this? Can we go do this dangerous thing? And she knew it wasn't right, because she just had to keep protecting him. He'd end up probably getting really killed. And then we have the Anointed plot line, where we thought it ended when she killed the bad guy, but we find out later that wasn't the case. So, for that plot, it was cool. Nice fight. But yeah, the main thing I really pick up off that episode is just Buffy wanting to be normal, so yeah. Then we had The Pack. This episode made me very uncomfortable. I did not like seeing Xander like that. I like seeing him in his goofy, funny self, and I mean, it was a cool concept with the hyenas possessing the kids and stuff, but seeing the way he was, like, I tried to put it out of my mind. Rest in peace to Pig, and Principal Flutie. That was a terrible way to go. I'm still so surprised they did that. I'm sure all those kids are traumatized. I'm just glad Xander wasn't one of the ones that killed him. I know he remembers everything, and he's pretending he doesn't. I wonder if that'll ever be brought up again. But yeah, it was one of the first, like, really, really good episodes, like, as a whole, but it makes me really uncomfortable, so yeah. And we have Angel. Now, you saw my reaction to that, so I think you know how I feel about that episode, but I was floored finally seeing Angel, like, in a more bigger aspect than just the little times he came in on the previous episodes, and I had zero clue he was a vampire. I thought he was first I thought he was a slayer, like a guy slayer, and then I thought he was just like a vengeance fighter, like, for his family, and just another fighter, like a human fighter. And then to see, I go from, oh my gosh, they're kissing, to what? Like, that twist still got me, and I'm glad to find out that there could be good vampires, since he has a soul. Too bad they couldn't have done that with Jesse, but, yeah, I loved that episode, and another villain, Darla, killed off very quickly. It must have been so hard for him. I still feel really bad for Angel for that. But yeah, I loved that episode. Then we have I, Robot, You, Jane. My friend told me, and other people told me, this is like one of the least favorite episodes, like, of the series. I thought it was really good. I loved having a Willow-centric episode, since she's my favorite character. And yeah, people say it's a little dated, but I thought it was cool having a demon being put into the computer, and yeah, it was a little cheesy with him turning into a robot, but I liked it. It had funny moments, and we got to see Miss Calendar be introduced. I really like her, so yeah, I liked it. And we had the puppet show. This episode freaked me out because I do not like dolls, puppets, anything like that. So for most of it, I was very freaked out. And my ears hurt because of Cordelia singing. But the scary part was the puppet. Even when we found out, or Sid, even when we found out later that he was, like, put into the puppet like he used to be human, it was kind of funny, yeah. But it still creeped me out. But still another really interesting concept, and I liked the episode as a whole, even though I was scared the whole time. And nightmares. I loved this concept. I really wish we could have fleshed it out even more. It really showed us more into the minds of each character and what they were scared of, and I could relate to a lot of them. I was a little bummed because I had to cut out a nice chunk of the reaction because of a glitch in my video capture. But it was a fantastic episode, done very well. And yeah, I really loved it. I keep saying I love every episode, so. Then we had Out of Mind, Out of Sight. Another great concept, very relatable. I wasn't that popular back in high school. I had friends. I didn't turn invisible, obviously, but I know that feeling when you're trying to talk in a group of people and you just kind of don't get noticed. So I felt bad for Marcy at first, and then you find out she's really just crazy. The twist at the end where they take the other invisible kids and turn them into assassins, it was different. I think it's another one, also probably not gonna see that again, but I loved when Buffy used her hearing, that scene where it circled around her. That was probably one of my favorite scenes of the episode. So that was cool, yeah. I loved the finale. It was just so epic. It was heartbreaking, and then, like, dramatic. It was like a roller coaster through the whole thing, and then Buffy dies, and I'm like, oh, there's no way. I knew she couldn't stay dead because, obviously, there's 6 more seasons, but she came back to life, kicked the Master's ass. Now, my only gripe with the episode is the Master. Now, people have told me they filmed all the episodes, like, one after each other without getting, like, critics, viewers seeing it. It was a mid-season replacement, so they probably didn't know if they were going to have a season 2, so they had to wrap things up really fast. But we had the Master throughout the whole season, building up him getting out, and finally being free, and this big battle that was going to come. Finally, he gets out. He kills Buffy, gets out. I thought that there was going to be this huge battle, and it was probably going to maybe go on to the next season, like, I don't know. And then he dies really, really, really quickly. So, that was very anticlimactic. The build-up kind of just... But still was really cool seeing her finally kill him. But I thought it would have been better if they could have did a little more with that. But, hey, it was still an amazing finale, and I loved it. Now we're going to get onto my top 5 episodes. Since I already talked about the episodes, I'm not going to, talk about them probably more. But I'll just give my top 5. I'm going to go from, 5 down to 1, okay? So, my number 5 is Witch. Like I said, great twist. I loved, it was, I had already been hooked from the first 2, but this one even hooked me even more, so I really loved it. Then we have number 4, I'd say the pilot, the beginning, since it hooked me. I really loved it too. I'd say I'm going to put, the 2-parter, I'm going to keep those as 1, so that's my number 4. Number 3 is Nightmares, like I said. Amazing, concept. I loved seeing the characters, deeper, learning more about them. Just loved it. And we have 2, Angel. I know people probably thought that'd be number 1 with how much I fangirled. It's really close, but yeah, I love that episode. And then number 1 is the finale, Prophecy Girl. That was a great finale to an already amazing season in my opinion, so yeah. Prophecy Girl is my favorite episode of the season. Okay, now let's get to my predictions for season 2. First, I think the Master is going to come back in some way. I don't know how. His bones were left over. He didn't, like, turn to fully like dust like the other vampires did. So, it's just, I think it'd be a waste to never touch on him again. So I think somehow he's going to come back. Maybe they can revive him, or I don't know. I think he's going to come back in some form. Next, I think Buffy's going to get a new power. I mean, she died and came back. She seemed like she was a little different, like she was able to resist the Master's hypnosis powers. So maybe she has some sort of new power from dying. I don't know what it's going to be, but I don't know. I think Buffy and Angel are finally going to get together officially. At least I'm hoping. This is more of a hope than a prediction. Yeah, I mean, it's like a slow burn. They've been building up, saying, oh, we can't be together, but I think they're going to get together. I think this season, or season 2, we're going to learn more backstory on the characters. I really want to know more about Giles and Angel. I want to know his background, and Buffy. I know, I'd like to see maybe more of when she became the Slayer. I know there's a movie, but I want to see, like, maybe what their, for the show, what they depict as her becoming the Slayer. And Xander and Will, I'd like to see, like, maybe some of their home life or stuff like that. But yeah, I think we're going to get more depth on all the characters. And I think there will be a new main villain. If they don't bring the Master back, of course, they're going to have a new villain. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of villains and monsters, but I think they're going to have, like, another big, I think they call it a big bad, somebody told me, the term, so, yeah. Okay, now we're going to get onto the viewer questions. I posted a video yesterday asking if you had any questions for Season 1. I got quite a few. I said I was probably not going to be able to do all of them, but I'm going to try. I'm just going to probably go through them pretty quickly. So, yeah, here we go. And I'm going to, sorry if I mispronounce anybody's name. The first is from Paranormal Girl Andrews, and they asked, what did I think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1? I've already pretty much talked about that, but just to put it simple, I loved it. A great start to the series. It was a good stepping stone, and I thought it was very strong, and it just makes me even more excited for what is to come. It's from Jen Rose. They asked me what initially drew me to Willow, and is she still my favorite character? Okay, so right away I felt like I really related to her, and Xander. Xander's awkward, and Willow was shy. I was really the shy girl, off on her own, eating alone a lot of the time, and just her pureness, like, I felt it. She just seemed so sweet, so cute, and it just drew me to her, and yeah, and she's still my favorite character. I do really love Angel too, but Willow, to this point, is still my absolute favorite character. I'd say my top 3 characters are probably Willow, Angel, and Buffy. So, yeah. Next is from Story of Us Final Draft, and they asked if I expected different creatures from vampires. Yeah, I expected the show to be mainly about vampires. I didn't know if they'd jump into other creatures so quickly and so many. But, yeah, I expected it. I mean, it's like a supernatural fantasy type show, so I knew they'd delve deeper into other things. They also asked, I was surprised seeing the Master die so fast. Do I expect later big bads to be taken out like that, and will I be disappointed? I already talked about this. Yes, I was a bit surprised they took him out so fast, but it was still done in a really good way. I have no idea what they're going to do with future big bads. I hope battles will be a little longer and more drawn out, but yeah, we'll see. And then they asked if there's any, like, smaller scene characters that I'd like to see more of. I can't think of a lot of them right now. I'd like to see, I guess, more Harmony. I had totally forgotten about her until they showed her again in episode 11, but I'd like to see more of her, see what she's all about, because right now she's more just like Cordelia's little minion. Then next, Donna Hunter asked, they know I really love Season 1, but what is the worst thing about it, in my opinion? I don't think anything's really bad about it, but in my personal opinion, I like seasons that have a plot arc that goes throughout it, and it builds up over time. I don't mind one-offs like Monster of the Week or Villain of the Week, like one-offs. I don't mind those, like they're good here and there, but I felt season 1 had a little too many of them. I would have liked more of an arc of the Master, because I think he was just sprinkled here and there, and then boom, done. But that's not, like, I'm not saying it's bad, I just hope maybe in future seasons there will be more of an arc of one storyline that goes throughout the season. Jacob Esparza asked, what do I think of Buffy and Angel together? I think you know. I love them together. I want them together. Angel. Praise. OS0 asked, what is my favorite thing about each character? So here I'll talk a little bit more about the characters that I was going to do earlier, but yeah. Buffy. She is a great main character, great hero. I love how driven and passionate she is. She acts like, in the beginning, like, I don't care, but you know she does. I love her little quips, like she does a lot of the times, like when she's killing vampire, or just her little sarcastic little endings that just bring a light to even the darkest situations. I can just tell in later seasons she's just the type to never give up, even when things look bad. I mean, she died, and then she's like, oh, I'm just gonna go, so. she's a very, very, very well-written character, I think, and I'm excited to see where it goes next. Then Willow, my favorite character. She started out so meek and shy in the beginning, and sweet, which drew me to her. That's, like, why she's my favorite character. But I like how throughout the season she's gained way more confidence. She seemed to be very centered around Xander and, like, wanting love, but at the end she's really coming to her own. When Xander asked her to go to the dance with him, when Buffy rejected him, she stood her own, and she's just grown so much in one season. I'm very excited to see how much she continues to grow and where her story goes. And then we have Xander. I love his goofiness. He's awkward, goofy. He brings humor to episodes, and his little one-liners he puts in there. Thing I don't really like about him sometimes is his ego, or like when Buffy didn't eat him back in the early episodes, he's like, oh, I'm not adequate enough, or how he acted when Buffy said she wasn't into him that way. He takes a little but other than that, I love the levity he gives. And we have Giles. He's just so, like, welcoming and warm to me. Like, he's always there. He's so knowledgeable and smart, and he always helps figure out what they need to do, and he's so great with Buffy. Like, they could have, like, a very stern and strict watcher, but I'm glad the way he's a bit more laid back in a sense of letting Buffy, because Buffy's pretty stubborn when she wants to do something, so he realized that quite quickly, and I'm excited. I keep saying this, I'm excited to see how his relationship with Buffy and others develops later on. And then Angel, at first, he was just totally mysterious, and that interested me, of course, and I really wanted to know more about him. And then when we found out that he was a vampire with a soul, it just made me even more curious. I'm glad we started seeing more of him from that point, and I want to see even more of him and learn more about him. I love his relationship with Buffy, and I'm liking finally seeing him integrated more with the rest of the characters and helping out, and hope we see more of that. And then we have Cordelia. Okay, so from the beginning of the season, she was the typical mean girl. I didn't like her. Every time I saw her, I rolled my eyes. I did appreciate her bluntness. She always told the truth. It wasn't until episode 11, when she had that heart-to-heart with Buffy, that I really saw she had more layers, and there was more to her character. And then we saw her more in the finale, helping out with the group, and I see potential there. I'm liking her. I'm just hoping she can get past trying to hide from the popular people that she talks to them. It's like, who cares what they think? So, yeah, I hope she continues to develop more. And Patrick Howard asked a similar question. What did I think about each of them, each character in the beginning of the season? And did that change toward the ends of it? Did that change toward the end of it? The characters, no. I just liked seeing them develop and learn more about them. I could say the only one that changed was obviously Cordelia. It went from a pure annoyance to, maybe I'm warming more up to her, so yeah. Vicarious Reactions asked if I had picked up any of the metaphors. Usually with first watches of shows, I don't pick up on everything, like the deeper. It would probably take me a few watches to really pick up on the little things. I did pick up on, it's like, people say high school is hell. I can kind of pick up on that, how they're upping it with all the monsters, and I think, like, to me, the metaphor is like, growing up, relationships, like with Xander and in Teacher's Pet, metaphors about, sex and stuff like that. But yeah, the deeper metaphors, I'm sure I'm missing a lot. But yeah, I'm sure during other rewatches, you guys can tell me if there's any, like, deeper metaphors I missed. Babs3241 asked me what surprised me most about the show, like, what I had expected, like, first when watching it. I think what surprised me most is how deep all the characters are, like how many layers they have, how developed they are, how quickly I fell for them for that point, because sometimes when shows start, it takes a while for the characters to become their own, like one in their own, and that can sometimes cause me to just kind of, if I don't connect with the characters, then, well, I didn't expect to like the show this much this quickly. So I got hooked right away, mostly because of the characters, so that says something. And Sarah Brackett asked me, and Sarah Brackett asked me what part in the show surprised me the most when they turned around a certain trope, like a traditional trope. I'll say definitely the beginning of the series, when Darla and that guy were in high school. Right away, I thought, oh, he's a vampire. She's the damsel in distress girl victim that's going to get killed. Just how normal movies and shows are. And then they totally turned around. I was so confident. Then she's the vampire and she kills him. Like, from right there, I knew this was going to be a different show, and I was not wrong. Holly Smith asked me what's my favorite episode and least favorite episode. Well, we know my favorite episode is Prophecy Girl, and I say my least favorite episode is probably Never Kill a Boy on the First Date. A great episode. It had great moments. It's just, it didn't really draw me in like the others did, and while it did make me feel bad for Buffy with the Owen thing, it's just, it was good, but just, if I have to pick a least favorite episode, that would be it. They asked what do I like most about the show? Obviously I love the characters. Like, they could be doing anything in any episode, and I would probably enjoy it with their lines and their chemistry, and yeah, the characters and their development is definitely my favorite thing. My least favorite thing, like I said before, was probably it being rushed and the one-offs, too many one-offs, and not really having a true overarching plot, but that's still doesn't change how I feel about the show. I love it. Now, U2U49 asked me quite a few questions, so okay. Do I think Buffy is different than other shows, and in what ways? This kind of also ties in with the next question, was what do I think about the humor in the show? Did it surprise me? That's one thing that I feel it does different. It has dark concepts, scary concepts, but it always twists the humor in that, and I love when shows do that, when they can put humor in without taking away from the drama, and it just fits, and I love that. It really just makes me fall more in love with the show and get deeper into the world, because it's not always like, oh, either all drama or all humor. Makes it just even more enjoyable for me. Now, did the emotional aspect surprise me? No. I could tell right away with how much care they put into the characters that there would be emotional moments and that I would get emotional. And I love the acting. The acting is top notch. So no, it didn't surprise me, and I love emotional, dramatic things. So another great bonus to the already great show. And they asked how do I like the mix of real life and fantasy. Now, I'm more, when it comes to shows, I like the fantasy stuff more than the real life shows. But then again, I like it as a mix. Now, I like pure on fantasy, different world type shows, but then I think actually I do like this mix of real life fantasy, like slice of life fantasy supernatural the most, because when I was growing up I wish that witches were real and vampires were real and like stuff like that happened in the real world. So this show is great in that aspect because I just love how well and seamlessly they make. They asked me what other shows I've been a fan of. I watch a lot of shows, but they mentioned Charmed. I love Charmed. It's one of my all-time favorites, the original. I'm watching the reboot, but I really love the original. They also asked Game of Thrones. I know this is like, ooh, I've only seen 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. I stopped during the beginning of the 4th season. I know it's ending and I should catch up with it. And I did enjoy it, it's just I ended up not really watching much of it. I also watched, I used to really love True Blood, Teen Wolf, Wynonna Earp, Supergirl, I really liked Orphan Black, yeah, I watch a ton of shows. It's just, right now they're all leaving me, but just anything really with, supernatural elements, fantasy elements, most of them I've probably seen, so yeah. Jeff Robertson said, even after me just seeing this first season, do I see any influence on TV shows that have come later? Yes, I do. Especially the Buffy Angel romance. It's similar to Vampire Diaries. Oh, that's another show I've watched, yeah. Vampire Diaries, Twilight, any of these. Wynonna Earp has similar concepts. A lot of, not just in the romance, but that's one of the main things I can see. And then also, the chosen one fighting to save the world. Yeah, similarities that I'm thinking, oh, they're doing the same thing as this show, but then I realized, wait, Buffy came first, so there's probably a lot of others I'm sure I'll see continuing on. And then Kelmore84 asked me if it's hard for me not being able to binge, like seeing one episode and not being able to continue right to the next. It is very hard for me. I'm an avid binge watcher. I love sitting down, turning on Netflix or whatever, and watching 5 episodes in a row sometimes. So like when an episode ends, I'm like, oh man, I want to see what happens next. But now that I'm doing reactions, I have to wait so I can edit, and with all the editing, the most I can watch is maybe like 2 episodes and edit them without getting drained, so it's hard, but I'm learning just to take it in stride, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Suki Galetta asked me, do I have a favorite character yet? And maybe even a villain, not just like the main characters. I've already said I love Willow. She's my top favorite character, and then I love Angel and Buffy. Favorite villain? I don't think I really did. I liked Darla, interested me, even though we didn't see much of her. But yeah, Master was okay. None of the villains really spoke to me, so maybe in the future seasons. And then they also asked, why do I think Buffy was able to kill the Master after she was revived? I don't know. I don't know if maybe something happened when she died and came back that gave her, immunity to him or something. But it's like once she died and came back, it gave her a strength where nothing fazed her. She wasn't scared anymore. It's like she had defeated the odds. So I think it was just the power of what happened to her. She just gained the confidence and the strength she needed to finally kill him. Amanda Loxton asked, why do I think this show is so beloved? I'm going to say the characters. The characters are so lovable, even in this first season being so quick. Like, I fell for them instantly. They're so well written. The chemistry is, like, palpable. Like, I can feel like they're my own friends by just watching the show. So I definitely think it's the characters and the development of the characters. I think that's the main strength of this show. Okay, so that was all the questions I have. I probably have cut this a lot because I'm very awkward. I'll be talking and I'll totally lose my train of thought, which I said I'm not that good at talking that long to the camera. So I apologize for my awkwardness, or if my answers weren't, like, the best. Like, I can think in my head what I want to say, but then it's hard for me to convey it. And I'm sorry that I keep looking here. The camera's here, like, the lens is here, but then the screen's here, and I keep looking at myself. I have that problem, so I apologize if it's annoying. But yeah, that was my review on Season 1. I've said this a million times, but I loved it. It's definitely a great beginning to the series, and it hooked me in entirely. I'm so excited to start Season 2, because you guys said it's better, or it gets better, or it's amazing, so I'm not going to go in with the judgment of, oh, it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be the best thing ever, because I know every season has ups and downs. But if I love this season so much, the first season, I know I'm probably going to love this Season 2. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my reactions to this season. Like I said, it's my first time ever reacting, so I'm still learning. But yeah, now we're going to get into something a lot of you have been asking. Not everybody, but a nice majority of you have asked if I'm going to have a Patreon for full reactions, and I've said yes. I've already set it up. It's been ready, but I wanted to wait till Season 2 to start fresh with the season, to start doing full reactions. So at this point, it's open. Somebody already pledged, like, yesterday. Like, somebody found it. I guess it's not hard, but I was surprised. I was like, you sneaky. But yeah, it's officially open. I will be starting Season 2 very soon, and I'll be doing every episode just a Season 1, but they're going to have full reactions. I'll still be doing reactions on YouTube of the cut versions, but if you're interested in seeing full uncut reactions, that'll come out earlier, because I'll be able to put them up earlier without having to edit. Then if you're interested in that, I'm going to put the link down below. So yeah, don't worry if you can't. You'll still be able to see my reactions just like they've been for Season 1. But yeah. I also have a Twitter, which I've linked in all my reactions so far, so if you want updates on when I'm doing a next episode, or if there's going to be a delay for some reason, or just to talk to me if you want, then you can follow me there as well. But yeah, that's been Season 1, and I'm ready to go into Season 2. I know you guys have been really excited for me to get to Season 2, so I'll be hopefully reacting to it. I want to react to it tomorrow, so hopefully that'll be up really soon. And yeah, thanks for being on this journey with me, and I hope you continue. And yeah, on Season 2. Bye.